I always look around me when I go live to make sure that there's nothing in the shot that I'm not supposed to be sharing yet. Nothing embargoed. What's happening over here? Oh, that's just the wall. That looked a little funny for a second. Um, yes, I need a haircut for the commenter who's obsessed with my hair. It's getting a little long. I understand. It looks like I'm going bald. Deal with it. Too bad. Don't know if they're actually back in the stream or not. I am kind of just jumping in and getting started here because I've been threatening to do this for the last couple of weeks. Is that essentially, to be fair to everybody's time, to just jump in and start covering topics right away because there are folks who are here when the stream starts. And normally I would say, all right, let's just do this for a couple of minutes or hang out and schmooze or just ramble or listen to music or whatever. Versus actually just getting started at 1 o'clock, which is also another good approach here. So a couple of things going on here. We've got Ubiquiti's Black Friday sale. We're going to go through it live. There's a couple of good things there. Obviously, if you are making a purchase, please, I'd appreciate it if you would use my affiliate link. I'll drop it in the chat here. I have to go get it first, but I have a shortcut on my phone for it. I don't have a shortcut for on chat over here for it, but we do get a small commission on some stuff here. So if you want to help out the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, let's see here. I do have to grab. Why does it keep doing that? My shortcuts are a little bonkers on this machine because I decided that I was going to make it a little bit different than my other machines normally would because I want to be able to have a little bit of segmentation so that there's some privacy there. But that's not necessarily working out because then my usual workflow shortcuts are just not cutting it. So, um, but it's an adventure and an experiment, and we're gonna make it work. So here's the link to the store that's got my affiliate code in there if you want to help. Please and thank you. It is greatly appreciated. I'm going to bring, let's see, I should bring the YouTube tab over to the left side of the screen. I rearranged the studio a little bit, clean some things up so that I actually have a better setup in front of me. Finally remounted my monitor, so now it's left justified instead of being up over here where I wasn't really looking at you. And then I have my iPad Pro here in front of me, so it's what do you call it? So that was my reference point in the past several episodes, the last month or month and a half, because I just haven't had the time to take things apart, and I've still got the old monitor mount on here. If you can sort of see that there, hopefully that didn't make too much noise clanging on the arm. I do want to move that to another mount so that it's not on the desk because right now, if I like put my watch down and it like clangs even slightly, it does come through on the mic. But anyway, I digress. I finally have my monitor, my big screen in front of me, up close and personal there. It's right next to my camera. So that actually, I think, looks much better. Going to continue dialing it in here. I think my camera could serve to be raised up a little bit as well, trying to change the different aspect ratios and so on. But let's move this over here, Riverside over there. So now I can see the chat. Now I can see the Riverside. And now we can jump right into it. And I can share the, let's see, this window of the Ubiquiti Black Friday sales. We can get into talking about that. Um, did it take me off the screen? That's rude. Am I still on the screen? No, this is an interesting layout. I think Riverside changed something because, aha, there we go. It's not as wide as it would be because it's a narrow window. So instead, Riverside just made it. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's a narrow adjustment site. And now you've got my little floating bubble head in there. So drop your questions and comments in down below here in the chat here so that I will keep an eye on that and see what you want to talk about. If you've got questions, we've got a huge show. Gemini had a busy week. Google had a busy week. That's doing a major understatement actually because um, this is possibly the largest and well, it is literally the largest and best model that they've ever done, but the conversation around it exploded online. So, and I got to test it in advance, so I'll talk about my trip there because I haven't been allowed to talk about it up until now. But without further ado, let's jump into the Ubiquiti sale stuff. Like I mentioned before, if you are able to make a purchase or if you're interested in making a purchase and you're able to use my affiliate link, I would greatly appreciate it. So, with that out of the way, let's proceed here. Couple of things that I've picked out here as my favorites. I have a couple tabs to show off here. here, but this is the gist of what you see on the homepage. I'm sure you've already checked it out today. But the number one thing here that I think is really going to be most popular for most people is free shipping. And I don't just mean free shipping on what you're seeing here. I mean free shipping site wide. I think it's in the US and Europe it gets the free shipping. Monty Inside Wire was just he's over in the UK. I think he was mentioning that if you order from the Europe store, you can get shipped to the UK with the free shipping. It'll cost Ubiquiti a lot of money, but hey, as long as you get free shipping. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the racks are in stock, are they? Let's check that real quick over here. I don't know if any of the racks are in stock because free shipping on one of those would be nice because that's several $100s in shipping. Yeah, they're sold out. That's disappointing. Oh well. Figured I would give that a shot. I'm sure the smart folks over at Ubiquiti were like, okay, we can offer this because those aren't included, or something along those lines. But let's go through some of the things that I like over here. Um, really, we start with the AI dome? No, the AI dome was just one that is out of order. Got it. Okay, so starting off from the top here, as you can see, a Dream Router 7. This is a wonderful little device. I've got one in the closet here. Did a video on this also. This is great for like small apartments, one bedroom studio apartments, kind of a thing where you want everything all in one. You want an AP, you want PoE, you want camera storage, you want a little screen on the front that tells you what it's doing, and you want it to run the whole unified suite of applications. You can do that all on this one device. When I have apartment builds or like a dorm room, for example, this is what I recommend because it's got Wi-Fi 7. It's got the high speed network is 2.5 gig NICs on there, RJ45 Ethernet ports, and a 10 gig and SFP WAN port should you want to use it. So really excellent all around versatile device. Normally $279. Today it is $229. So wanted to give that a good call out. And then next is my other like I keep this in my toolbox that I take with me to jobs because for in a pinch, a powerful device and it doesn't need to have an AP. Some people wish it had an AP. I would like it to have an AP, just like squish the whole UDR down into this size form factor. That'd be pretty cool. But it doesn't. But you can easily throw an AP on here and just deploy it from there. But you've got here a lot of power in a really compact size, both in the Gateway Max and the Gateway Fiber is also a tremendous amount of power there, and I love both of them. But this one also runs the whole suite, but it also has the ability to have a lot more storage on it. So you have 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte options. Those are also discounted for today, as is the no storage. The no storage, if you have the SSD from something else or you want to buy one, outside of that, is just $159. And for this kind of routing power, as the home hub for your home lab, especially if you've got like one of those little mini 10-inch racks set up, or you've got one of these just in your closet, you don't have a lot of room. This is a great way to go. And the storage here, I have this behind me here. The storage is just this little sled that goes in there. This is a 512 gig one, and it just slots right into the side of the device here, and you can see that on the photo here that they have. And it's just really, really powerful all around. USB-C powered, so in a pinch, if you can't find the right cables or whatever, pretty much we should all have USB-C cables with us these days. So um, I definitely enjoy having this in my pack. Next up is a bit of an older one, and I haven't seen any talk about updating this. I wish they would because this is great. I mean, it's gorgeous. It also has an all-in-one, and up until recently with the launch of the battery backup, it was, I think, the only gateway or the only setup that had backup batteries in it. I think there was a switch, the mission critical switch that has power, backup battery power in it. But this is the Dream Wall. It is 420 watts. It is normally $1,000. It is $400 off. It is $599 for today. Um, I think I need to ask Ubiquiti to send me one of these to review just because the industrial design on this is so Apple-like. It's a throwback to Robert's days at Apple. I think that this is a really, really nice and neat and clever design. They've got a cable channel here at the top for the cables to route out. You've got these are the two redundant power systems, the backup batteries that are in there. This is a touch screen in the middle, which is great. It's a nice, what is that, like a 6-inch touch screen? I forget. I saw it here somewhere. Integrated. No, it doesn't say over here, but it's just really, really sleek and really sweet. If you don't have a closet to hide all this stuff away, you've got a really nice option here. And that's a heck of a discount for something that has all of these things in it. Now, granted, it is Wi-Fi 6, so you do, it's not Wi-Fi 7. It's not the latest and greatest, but for those who don't care about that or are happy to put in a different access point, this still has it all. Like this thing is incredible. Um, You've got some PoE ports on here, some non-PoE ports. You have micro SD card if you want to have that extra storage on there. Power, you got input, you've got 10 gig SFP in here. This will do it all, and it looks really really nice doing it. So I think I need to have them send me one just so that I can throw it on the wall in the background and be like, here's a really cool thing that I am not going to use here because I've got two massive stacks already. But hey, as another test rack, maybe that would be cool. So Ubiquiti, make another one and send it to me because I want a new version of this. Yeah, it's just a nice design. Big fan. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna stop fanboying over the I love. Okay, I said this about my UDR video also. Can we have transparent tech, please, Ubiquiti? Look at this. It's gorgeous. Do it on the little R2D2 UDR and do it on the gateways and do it on here. I want transparent tech. Yes, I know it's not going to be the fancy schmancy aluminum they're using, but I love transparent tech. I think we need to bring back that period in time when we had transparent technology. All right, on to cameras, it looks like. I think this is a switch. Next one coming up. Yeah, but we'll go through cameras. The AI Dome, normally $400, now just under $300. This is a very nice camera. So you've got of course, the dome. It's 4K, 30 FPS. You've got the onboard AI processing, ultra wide viewing angle, light sensor, the SD card. I think I may have mentioned. No, I don't know. You have the SD card on there. Just a really nice, solid, powerful, 4K PoE dome camera. It's sleek too. It's small, so really like those. That's normally $400. Like I said, now it's $300 for Black Friday. And Black Friday, by the way, is running through the end of the week. It's all from now until the end of next week, I think. Let me just double check that so that I don't say the wrong thing. 10 days. Yeah. Offer ends 12/1 at 11:59 p.m. or when stock runs out. And that excludes the heavy or oversized items. So the racks, even if they were in stock, would not have been included in that, which is probably smart. We don't want to bankrupt Ubiquiti on these orders that we're doing on shipping costs because they are crazy. Um, but anyway, so yeah, this is going through that time. So these things will likely sell out because people want to get good deals on these cameras, and there's only 1 or 2 times a year that they do this. So if you like any of these options, jump on them quick. This is one of my favorite switches, or it was one of my favorite switches until it was replaced with. Sorry, I forget. I hit the desk and it reverbs through the mic. This is the XG. Now it is much more expensive, I think, especially at the price of the Enterprise 8 PoE of 329. But if you're only looking for 2.5 gigabit only, how quickly we forget. If you don't need 10 gig and you want more than 1 gig, this enterprise switch is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, it's not PoE plus plus plus, but it is PoE plus, and it will power all your cameras or a bunch of different devices. Almost all your cameras. I think the really big cameras require more than just PoE plus, so keep an eye on that. But I have this running my test rack for all the cameras outside, and they're all plugged into this. And yes, it is outside. No, I don't think it's not meant to be outside. It is in an enclosure. It is in a there's like it's like an indoor outdoor room. It has like it has what do you call it? It's not sealed, but it is enclosed, and so think like a shed almost. So it's in there. It's been fine. It runs great, and it has been running for I don't know the last couple of years that I've been doing this. I've been using that switch pretty much since I started to power all of those, and it it's held up like a champ. So if you're looking for something that's got a really good heat sink on the back here, as you can see, as well as being an 8-port layer 3 switch, check this out. Normally $479. Today it is $329. I'm going to pause for a sip. DPC Technology, welcome to the stream. Says AI Dome is a nice cam. I agree. I think I had one around here somewhere. I must have put it on the test track because I don't have it here in front of me. I initially thought about, by the way, doing a video for this where I was going to take all the things that they were discounting for Black Friday and pile them on the desk in front of me and go through them one by one. And then I realized I don't have all of the things, like the Dream Wall, for example. Never got that. I don't know why. It got overlooked. But then I was like, "That's a little crazy," because I got stuff on the rack, I got stuff other places I'm testing it. I was like, I'm not taking everything down to do this video. That's a little bit crazy just for Black Friday. Maybe something else in the future, but no, not for that. All right, on to my one of my favorite for my longtime favorite access point here, the Flex HD. Um, Ubiquiti, where's the Wi-Fi 7 version of this? This is what I want to know. I would love to have a this is when I say everyday carry, I mean like I keep it in my pack with me. I keep it in my bag that I take for any network job. If you need an AP, you need to spin up an AP, you need just an extra AP. It happens. Clients like, hey, reception is really bad over here. Can you put something in here? Boom, Flex HD, HD. Boom, Flex HD. Pop it in the ceiling. It only shows a teeny bit. Throw it in the ceiling. Great, Flex HD. I love this thing. 360-degree, network signal sending. Fantastic. Where's the Wi-Fi 7 version, Ubiquiti? Like, come on, the year's almost over. We've had lots of Wi-Fi 7 things coming out. I want Wi-Fi 7 of the Flex HD, please. Thank you if you hear my prayers. That would be great. This one, normally $179, which is very affordable to begin with, is today $70, $69. So yes, it's Wi-Fi 5. Yes, it's not as fast as before. But if you've got like IoT devices you want to throw on here, or you've got just in a pinch, you want to get on here, or you don't care about having the highest speed because you're out in the mountains on Starlink and you don't have that speed internet anyway, this is a steal. I love this thing. It's powered by PoE. You just put it down, you put it on the wall, put it on the desk, put it on the ceiling, whatever. It's fantastic. So, like I said, one of my all-time favorites, longtime single favorite, and it can even be used outdoors when you install LED side up with the included pole or wall mount accessory. So, excellent. Just the most versatile AP I think they have ever made. So yes, Ubiquiti, please, Wi-Fi 7 version. Moving on from there, the AI Dome, which I think I talked about already. Where'd that go? Didn't I? Am I losing? Yeah, AI Dome. I opened it twice. I apologize. AI Pro, also another really, really powerful yet versatile camera. Normally $500. Today is $359. This thing is a beast. People walk by this, they notice it. It's bold. It's black. It's what's the term I'm looking for? It's scary almost. And it's also the camera that I've gotten the most comments on. People are like, "Whoa, what is that?" Because it's got the blue ring around. Back when that was a relatively new thing, now all the cameras have the blue rings and stuff, but this is the one that I've had, I think, up on my house the longest, and, no, maybe not. I don't know. I'm starting to get confused with all the different models and versions and whatnot. I guess I probably had the AI Pro's been up there a long time. But it's got 3x optical zoom, which is fantastic for a camera, especially if you wanna be able to keep your position, zoomed in on something. That's great on this, and it you can adjust it. It's just not like a PTZ, for example, which there's a G5 PTZ on sale here. I didn't really include it in this because, I mean, I hope Ubiquiti doesn't yell at me for saying this, but just get the G6 PTZ. It is so much better. But if you're looking for a cheap PTZ, you can get that one instead. But yeah, the AI Pro is a really solid, powerful all-around camera, and I recommend that as well. And then over on the access side of things, you're not going to have the Apple Passkey integration here, or the Android. It doesn't do Android. I don't remember. But the G2 starter kit for the Access Reader is fantastic. You get your hands wet. You get the here. Let's show it all the things that come in the box here. Where's the image? It's in the front. Doesn't show everything in the box here. I think it comes with cards. So you get 10 of Ubiquiti's access cards, which is great. You get the G2 access reader, which is super easy to install and small. It's like probably about 4 or 5 inches tall. Um, in fact, I think they give us the dimensions on here. And you get the access hub as well, which is excellent for a test bench or getting started with this stuff or learning how it works, learning what the hell a DIN rail mount is. What's a DIN rail? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but maybe you don't. Playing around with all of this stuff. It's got PoE ports out on it, which could also be used for a camera. Um, PoE plus plus in. It's just a great start entry point into the system. And no, it's not the latest and greatest, but it does have the hand wave capability. So if you want to walk by the door and feel like you're using the force, you can wave at your entry reader here, and it'll open the door for you. You can also use the NFC cards, which come in the pack. You get 10 of them here, or a key fob. There are other key fobs that you can get that are compatible with the system. You do not have to use Ubiquiti's key cards here, but it's nice, and they are more secure if you do. And yeah, just an all around great reader getting started into the system, the ecosystem, I mean, and it's weatherproof. So, you put it outside, of course. Um, those are my big highlights here of Black Friday, and it's nice when we get the chance to get some of these things at discount. And no, unfortunately, it's not the entire site, and they don't have everything on there, but it is appreciated. They don't have to do this. I am glad that they do this because in the past, I have many a time waited until the sale came and then bought some things that I had my eye on that they discounted for a Black Friday sale. So again, if you, my affiliate link is in the chat. If you don't mind, if you would be able to click on that and make your purchases, it does help to support the channel. Okay, on to some other interesting things this week. I put out two videos for Ubiquiti this week. This is the device bridge switch, and next to it is the device bridge IoT, teeny tiny, cute little adorable device. So go watch those videos if you haven't. In short, um, because they're on the website and we're talking about new stuff that came out. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. In short, both of these don't use an Ethernet connection. Their backbone, their connection to the network is Wi-Fi, and I believe it's using actually Ubiquiti's was a WiMAX technology for that. But essentially, that's your backhaul. You connect it and mesh it to your Wi-Fi network, and then you can have a wired connection. For example, for devices that need to have wired connections, such as a printer or other industrial devices or alarms, things like that. For the things that where you just need a connection, that can work really well with the IoT. That's what it's designed for. It's tiny, it's powered by DC power or via USB-C. Watch the video for more information on that. But it is limited, right? The IoT only does, I think it's up to 100 or more in that area of bandwidth. So you're really only going to want to have one little thing on here. And I have gotten this question a lot in the comments on my videos. So there is something in between here, and what did I do with it? I put it away somewhere, I think. There is a device in between. There's a couple devices here actually, and I can show it on the screen because I realize I should just be screen sharing if I'm not. Um, the UDB family, if you want PoE, there's the device bridge which came out several months ago here, where this more than several months, like a year ago, I think. This is $100, and it's the same technology, the same concept, where it uses your Wi-Fi network as your backbone, but the device bridge, which is on screen, has a single PoE. So you can put a wired only camera, such as the AI Pro or any of the other wired cameras that Ubiquiti has. You can power that and provide data through the single cable like you normally would when plugging into a switch. You can use that where you don't normally have wired network. And so that's the fantastic option for that. And people are asking, oh, well, I wish the IoT had the ability to do PoE. Yeah, so do I. It'd be great if something this small was so easily deployable and powered by USB-C could also do PoE. Maybe in the next version, this one doesn't do it. However, if you want several ports on your switch that do PoE at a high speed, these are all 2.5 gig ports because the backbone for this device is multi-gigabit. Granted, you have to be within range of a Wi-Fi access point where you're able to get those speeds, but you are able to transfer data across the network at multi-gigabit speeds without having a wired connection. The only wired connection is you wiring into the switch, and these are all PoE plus, so you are able to power devices such as cameras or desk phones, which is I had in my video here is the desk phone, the Ubiquiti desk phone, from this switch. And I'll stop sharing my screen now because I'm talking. How do I go back to? Oh, there we go. Once upon a time, Riverside automatically shifted things around when you screen share. I don't know if that changed or they've got a whole bunch of different layout things here, but I digress. Anyway, the last thing about here is that on the end here, you also have see if I can focus on that. I don't think I can because my focus is locked back. But there's a 10 gig NIC on here. So if you want to be able to have a device that can take advantage of the full multi-gigabit backbone, you can plug it in to 10 gig and be able to be off to the races there. It is powered by a barrel adapter, your Ubiquiti. The one that it comes with is the 54 watt, if I'm not mistaken. But it is capable of, and let me just double check because I don't remember this everything off the top of my head, but it is capable of. Where is it? Why doesn't it say the total capable? Here we go. 185 watts if you use the 210 watt adapter, which granted is more expensive, which is why it doesn't ship with the device. But both of these are fantastic. I like the device bridge lineup. A lot of people both on the device bridge when it first came out a year ago, as well as on both of these videos, are like, who the hell is this for? Are people really asking Ubiquiti for these? And I have to say, clearly, yes, because A, my videos have tens of thousands of views on them, and B, there's hundreds of comments saying, oh, this is fantastic. This is great. I'm so glad that they finally came out with this. So, yes, these are fill a need and a hole in the ecosystem, and I am quite happy to see them. Let's hop over to the comments here. Mark says, first of all, Mark, welcome to the stream. Says the UDP switch is really interesting. Not clear if it acts as a general access point or if it acts as a Wi-Fi client. It is not an access point. It does not broadcast. If you want to broadcast, you can plug an access point into it, um, which would kind of, I mean, if you're already meshing, why not just mesh the access point? But okay, if you're looking for power for the access point, you can plug it into here as well. It's not an access point, so it's not broadcasting. It is receiving, and that is its backbone. And if you wanted to broadcast, you would need to plug something in. Sorry for the silence for the audio listeners. Just taking a drink here. Yankolova Sorry if I butchered your name there. I'm really bad at that, and the screen is a little bit far away from me. Welcome to the chat. You commented, comma. Maybe you had a question. Maybe you edited it because I answered it. Either way, welcome to the chat. Thank you for commenting. Feel free, folks, if you have questions. Drop them down below and I can definitely try to answer them. I don't promise that I can answer them, but I can try to answer them. All right, let's head over to one last thing here from the Twitter sphere that I want to show off. Go back to sharing my screen. We've got a live show coming up with some guests. So this is the legend, Cody from Mac Telecom, the YouTube channel Mac Telecom, Monty, Inside Wire, over, as I mentioned before, over in the UK, Clay from DPC Technology, who's in the chat, as well as myself, are going to be doing a live stream, streaming on each of our channels. And feel free to tune in on whoever you wish, but you should definitely tune in on mine. And we'll all be answering questions from the stream and from our audiences and whatnot. And I am certain that shenanigans will ensue. When you get this many Ubiquiti nerds in a room, there will definitely be, fun questions, comments. Uh, Hopefully, we don't leak anything that we're not supposed to. No promises. I will do my best. It's a challenge, but this should be a fun one. Cody and Monty did one recently where they were just schmoozing about the latest stuff. I've been on the UI chat podcast a couple of times in the past, and that's always a good time. So this will be great to have everybody in the room together: Clay, myself, Cody, and Monty. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So this is going to be on Wednesday, the 26th. So that's, I think, this coming Wednesday, right? I'm trying to check the calendar here. Yeah. So today is the 21st. The 26th will be Wednesday. Time zones are a challenge, but it's going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific, which is my time zone. And pretty excited for this one. This is gonna be a lot of fun. It's been weeks in the planning cycle here, and actually a little bit, yeah, before we were talking about, even before going to the Ubiquity World Conference. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Some of the chat here will be solely about answering your questions. So I can't tell you what it's going to be about. I imagine we'll go through what our favorite Ubiquiti devices are and other stuff like that, and just fun schmoozing. And we're for YouTube creators that are obsessed with this stuff and constantly making content about Ubiquiti and have a lot of experience together. So that's that. Got some other things. I don't have to continue sharing my screen. Did that? No. Yeah, see, Riverside really is not switching back after I do the going live thing. That's weird. I don't know why, but they're not. Oh well. All right, on to other topics. Also this week, I put out 3 videos this week. It was almost 4 or 5, but yesterday I was exhausted and I was like, I can push some of the Google stuff for next week because unlike the Ubiquiti community, which is like, what's the word, voracious, like a never-ending appetite for new content, especially when there are new products out. So that's great, and I absolutely love it. But it also means that I prioritize Ubiquiti content instead of the Google content, because the Google stuff, it takes a week or 2 or 3 sometimes to get to all of these folks who are interested in it, and it. I mean, there's more coming, as I understand it. Gemini, I think there's still more things to come out. But Gemini 3 was released. Now, this is a massive release. Like, this is a huge step forward in capabilities. I have had my mind blown many times this week where I tried pretty much the normal workflows that I would do on a regular basis. And then I tried them in Gemini 3 3 Pro technically, and, I was just like, "Whoa, that is a huge leap in, understanding, a huge leap in how it's able to compose its replies and how it understood the information and how fast it took, excuse me, a large PDF and was able to synthesize it into information." So I am working on a video for that next week sometime, which will talk about the new updates to Gemini as well as how best to use them in Workspace. I think that I might actually split it into two videos, although I already did the Gemini 3 video, so probably it'll just be the Workspace one next week. Um, Granted, unless Google rolls out some more new topics here or product releases, but essentially, and you can go watch the video for the gist that I got out that I put out earlier this week. Essentially, the gist here is that Google has put out a much more powerful model, and it is kind of almost blowing the socks off all of the rest of the models that are out there in the market. There's a couple of areas that they didn't quite win out against all of the other models. I think Anthropic's Claude is still winning on certain coding capabilities. I was talking with some of the developer friends of mine, and they were very excited by it because it's an extremely well-rounded model. But as far as using it just for certain coding tasks, they're going to stick to Claude for those. That being said, there's a lot more to this model than just coding, and it's been doing great. In addition to that, they also rolled out, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. No, I think it was yesterday. Nano Banana Pro, which is the next generation, more powerful version of Nano Banana. Nano Banana is their image generation model, and I think it's safe to say that on that front, Google has won. Game over. Go home. Like it is. We're not in the uncanny valley anymore. We are in the put a picture of all the biggest tech CEOs in a parking lot smoking cigars around their cars at a campfire, and it looks like that actually occurred level. Like this is the real deal. In fact, I think I had that image or similar to that image um, over on X. Let me see if I can find it and bring it up here because it's just so good. Some of the stuff that they're showing off. Oh, here's another good one of all the CEOs. Let me share my screen so that I can show you. Where'd the share button go? Here it is. Screen X, and then move me over to here so that I look cool in my stream. Um, but yeah, look at this. You've got Elon. You've got Sama. I can only think of his Twitter handle for some reason. Sam Altman. You have Demis Hassabis. You have Demis Hassabis is the CEO of Google DeepMind. Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI. If you are not familiar, actually, I don't know who this guy is on the end. This is Sundar Pichai, of course, who's the CEO of Google. Who is this? This must be the person who created it. Must be a selfie with all of them and him. Yeah, I think that this guy Ashutosh is the one made it look like a selfie with them. Um, but it's just like look at the detail there. Look at the lighting. Look at the shadows. Oh, and I forgot to mention Jensen Huang, the head of Nvidia over there. It's like the detail on this. Let me zoom in. Can I, yeah, zoom in on this. The shadows, the lighting around everyone's faces, and just the 3D placement of everybody, the hands, the teeth, like everything that normally you'd look at this and you would be like, it's AI. I mean, it's crazy. This is really impressive. The leather folds in Elon Musk's jacket, the fact that he's wearing a Tesla shirt. Like, sure, there's a lot of information here to pull on that it was training on in order to put this together. But this is next level creepy. It's like we're here. There was another really good one of that. Where was it? I'm trying to see if I can find it here. It was very, very impressive. No, I guess I didn't retweet that one. But suffice it to say, this is an incredible, incredible model. It's also been um, recreating, or not recreating, but creating graphics over in NotebookLM, which is another one of my favorite tools here. This is a joke, actually. This is a throwback that Sundar made from 2017. If you are very, very active and live on the internet like I do, which I imagine many of you do, you might remember that there was a whole hullabaloo, especially on Twitter at the time, of the new emoji for a hamburger. It had been updated, and you had a war between two sides. Those who said the cheese has to go below the patty, and those who said that the cheese has to go above the patty for optimum melt capabilities. And they were going at it, and this went on and on and on. And so the joke there, I mean, it was the whole thing was a joke, but the war was really back and forth and intense. But people were criticizing Google for doing it wrong. And Sundar said at the time, okay, sure, everybody is going to drop what they're working on and address this first thing on Monday. Well, several years later, it appears they did drop what they were working on and work on AI, but also they worked on this. And this is just a hysterical engineering specification guide for how to properly place a patty and a cheese on the hamburger and which one is correct or not correct stacking for that. So, wanted to give you a little bit of the lore there because you may not always remember. This guy who posted it, Balaji, gave the some of the details in here. But I did. I'm that much of a nerd that I did remember this on my own. So, proud on that. Let's talk about some of another one of the new things that they talked about here that they announced was a new desktop-based IDE called Anti-Gravity. And the cool thing about where's Anti-Gravity? And I think YouTube is like, oh, it's not showing as live on my computer. It is live though. Okay, great. I was thinking that YouTube was super delayed because in the screen over here it showed like from way back before. I don't know why it was showing it there, but I thought the stream was like 10 minutes behind somehow, but it looks like it's all up to date and fine. So let's get back into this here. In When I had the crazy week where I went from the what do you call it? Where I flew from here to Vegas. And I'll stop sharing my screen for this part so that it's come on. Why are you there we go. So now you can see the full me. But basically, if you remember, was it last week, the week before? I can't even keep track anymore. Where I flew from here to Vegas for my wife's comedies party, and then I flew from Vegas to Miami for Ubiquiti World Conference, and then I flew home from there, slept in my own bed. The next morning, hopped on a plane and flew to the next afternoon, flew to San Francisco for a top secret Google event that I couldn't talk about. Well, I was one of the first like 20 people in the world outside of Google to try Gemini 3 and anti gravity. And that was super cool and a great opportunity. And thank you to Google for flying me out and giving me that opportunity. We have some more stuff, I think, in the works, hopefully, that I'm going to be able to share with you in a little bit that I can't talk about just yet. But basically, we went out and we were in a conference room and it was all very hush hush. And obviously, we all signed NDAs and all that. But now I can talk about it. All brought our laptops and they brought in the anti gravity team and they said, here's what we're building. Here's what we have now. It's not 100% ready for prime time, but we wanted to give you guys as GDEs the opportunity to test this and help work out some of the initial onboarding bugs because, we are that kind of crazy level, try all the things QA uh, attitude and capability here. And so that was really cool. They were hand onboarding us. There wasn't like a sign up form or anything like that, and we were able to be the first ones to get the alpha software of this on our computers and start playing around with it and being like, this isn't working, that isn't working. I'm rate limited. This isn't coming up. It's not working with Google Workspace addresses, which it's still not. But as I understand it, they're working on that. So workspace folks, be patient. It will come. Why they didn't launch with that, I don't know, but that's c'est la vie. That's how it was. It's a great tool, especially if you're a developer and you want to vibe code part of it and you want to, keep an eye on things. It brings in this concept, which some of the others have as well, of agentic coding, where you basically can have a team of agents that you give them different tasks of what they should do, and then boom, press go, and they all go off to do their little thing. And some of them are even capable of driving the browser and taking screenshots and showing you what they're doing, and then stopping and waiting for permission to proceed. It's like, hey, here's this thing. I recommend we install this so that we can build that. Like, you need Node.js if you're going to, do this feature that you asked for. Do you want to proceed? And then you can say yes or no, or you can tell it to go in a different direction or to use a different tool. Or you can do what I do and just YOLO it and just turn green lights to Malibu, say one shot it, build the thing I asked for. And it actually it wasn't too bad. It actually did a pretty good job at doing that because, I'm not a hardcore daily developer, and so I could not get in there and make all those decisions. And I want to just vibe code because it's faster and it's more fun to just let the machines do it, in my opinion. So that was pretty cool. And hopefully in the future when I do this, I'll be able to, now that I've done it before and had the opportunity, I'll be able to frame it into a way that I can film around the video and hold that content for release after the fact and be like, okay, yes, I'm filming this. No, I'm not going to release it. Yes, this is how it's going to tell the story. And then when it comes out, be like, I got to try it. Here's that story. So tell me in the comments if you think that would be interesting to you. I think that would be a really cool story to tell and to show how we got to do that. It wasn't exactly bags over our heads into a black room with, no doors or windows, but still, pretty cool to be on the very cutting edge there and to be able to try that out. So I wanted to share that story. Um, as I see here on the screen here, Gemini 3 just blew my mind. I've been leaning on AI to help more with personal tasks and just created an assistant within the app that is truly next level, working on a video to explain, but seriously next level in the questions it's asking, its conversational ability, etc. That was a tweet I did on November 19th, a couple of days ago, because, and this is going to be a whole video series, but and if you haven't been paying attention up until now, it's about to get super personal. So you might want to be paying attention because this is going to be interesting. My daughter, I have 2-year-old twins, two almost 3-year-old twins. My daughter, one of the twins, I have 4 kids. So one of the youngest one, the baby twin, she has been slightly developmentally delayed for a little while. Well, actually her whole life, and it hasn't really affected her that much. She was slow to walk. She was slow to talk. Her talking is still not great, and it's been kind of a challenge and a question. Is like, well, what is going on here? Because she's a happy kid. She's affectionate. She's social. She loves hugs. She loves singing. She loves playing, but she does things a little bit differently her way. And you're not supposed to compare children here, but she's a twin. So standing next to her twin brother, at the same time, he's walking, talking, running, jumping, like doing all these things that developmental milestones that you're supposed to do at that age. And um, she just wasn't getting there until much later. And so we started with the doctors and we started with the therapists and the tests and the this and the that. And they tested for audiology, they tested her hearing, they tested her vision, they tested pretty much everything under the sun. And it turns out she has an incredibly rare, randomly occurring genetic um, deficiency, genetic deletion. It's called a partial gene deletion of the GRIN2B gene. And this is, as I've now understood, and I know almost nothing about genetics, but the GRIN2B gene, you're going to learn something here, is the gene that is responsible for programming the brain to help it build memories and remember what you're learning. So when you sit down to learn something and you start taking that information into your brain and your brain converts it into long-term memories, she doesn't have all of that. It's partially just not there. Now, we as a people, as humans, don't really know all that much about the brain, which is a little bit of a mind-boggling idea in and of itself. However, apparently, even though she doesn't have that, the brain is able to build its own additional new pathways around that deficiency so that she can still learn. She can still learn to do all these things. She may not be, amazing at it or as come as easy to her as her twin brother or other babies or other toddlers, but she's still able to learn. And so the answer right now is therapy, 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 therapy. If you know somebody that's going through this or has gone through this or has an older kid going through this, let me know because there's like 600 people a year that are diagnosed with this. Like this is not a big thing that is well known. In fact, going through with the insurance and with the therapists and regional center therapies and whatnot, half the people I talk to, more than half the people I talk to, who is their job to know this shit, don't have never heard of this one. And so it's that rare. There's not a lot of research around it. And so um, if there are folks, happy to connect with them. But why is this relevant to our conversation here? And why am I going to make a whole video and probably series on this? Is because in doing all this, and I work from home, and so therefore I'm able to, be the primary parent. My wife is a CTO, so she's, very busy doing that. So I've taken on this, and the only thing that has managed to help me to keep track of everything that is going on with her, all of the different appointments and all the different doctors and all the different, red tape and government programs and things like that that we're applying for, and what's available out there. I have been using AI and I have been using it in a big way. I have her entire documentation, all of her files in NotebookLM. NotebookLM, if you're not familiar, is an amazing tool from Google. It started out in Google Labs and then very quickly graduated into a core Google Workspace product. Schools should be mandating that students need to be using this in order to learn. It is next level, next generation learning. You put in your data, and then Gemini is obviously built into it because it's an AI tool, and then you can ask questions only on that data. So let's say you're learning about, physics. You put in all your physics notes for that class. You can ask questions from that. It's not going to, unless you ask it to, go out to the internet and look for other answers. And it's going to be very powerful because now you're only working with the data that you have there. Now you could say, hey, I don't understand this. Go out and, use the greater model and tell me how does this work. It'll do that, which is great. But also it'll take the data that you're trying to learn. You can generate it into flashcards, slideshows, videos, podcasts talking about just your data that's in there. But it's also really great for taking just your information and querying it, talking to the chatbot and saying, oh, who was telling me about this and this symptom, or who was telling me about this and this therapy or medication that we could use? What was it called? And the chatbot will just bring it up. So all of the diagnoses, all the documents from the doctors, all the paperwork that we've been getting, I've been putting into Notebook LM, and it has been a game changer for how I manage this information because I'll be on the phone with yet another agency talking about how she needs this service and that service and how do we get her into the school system. You have to, apply and well, not apply because it's public school, but you have to because it's special needs. Technically, it has to go through another branch, whatever. They'll ask me questions. I'll be like, dude, I can't remember all of this stuff, and I just open up Notebook LM, open her notebook, type in the question, and I have the answer almost instantly. It's incredible. Taking that a step further, I've done this thing with Gemini a couple of times, and I do it every time there's a new model where I I create either gems or one chat for having the conversation that I'm having to kind of take advantage of the large context model to keep the conversation going instead of always starting a new chat. Or in the case of a gem, having it programmed with a set of instructions for this is um, how you should react and how this should look when I give you information. So say if I use it in my YouTube workflow and I'm scripting, I'll say, here's my notes, turn this into a script utilizing the notes that I took from the class on how to build a good YouTube script. And then, publish that and give me notes. And then I'll take that as my working point from there when I go to record. Excuse me. The This time I went to do another one and I said, all right, I need to create a chatbot here, an assistant, where I will be giving you all of this information about my daughter and all of the things that are happening here and all of this information, all this data. And I need you to help me to manage this so that I don't drop the balls because there's so many things going in so many different directions. Plus, I'm also running my company and doing YouTube videos and production and all that. I need help here. How can you help me do this? And it actually guided me through, and this is the new Gemini 3 Pro, guided me through giving it a prompt and telling it what to do to create this kind of assistant. Now remember, Gemini 3 has a 1 million token context window. If you're not uploading videos to be transcribed, that's going to last several months of just general chatting. And so I can now have this assistant where I'm having conversation that it's able to recall information from the last 6 months at least. And so while I'm going through this and giving it the information, it's asking me more about my daughter. It's asking me more about my information. What's my schedule look like? Um, Filling in the blanks so that it can be that kind of assistant that I need it to be. But then at the end of that, and this is the part that truly blew my mind all over the room, it goes, okay, so next steps for your daughter are making sure that she gets into this program with this type of a school and creates an IEP, which is an individualized educational plan pursuant to code 504, I think it's called, where California state requires this and then sets it up so that you can get these, therapies or funding for programs, etc. And I was like, holy shit, like this, sorry, this could not do any of that before. It's just mind blowing how it was able to do that. It just took the reins and said, I got this. Here's what you need to know. I'm like, how did it? I didn't even know about. How does it know about government level? And it was right, by the way, because I had come across this recently. You do need those things in order to get the 504 and the IEP, etc. Like it nailed it. And I was like, okay, Gemini, you're in charge. Like, tell me what you need and I will get it because clearly you're better at this than I am. So that is just like totally blew my mind. And I'm going to be doing a full long form video showing this all off and showing how it all works and whatnot. But I wanted to include it on the stream because, it's hard to quantify when a new model comes out. Is this smarter than the others? Which is why we have all of these metrics and why we have these tests and the last exam on Earth and LLM Arena and all of those others where you can have these standardized tests that it can run against. But a model is so much more than that because it's going to be how you're using it in your individual workflow. I work differently than you work differently than some of the other people work differently, right? It's really interesting to see all the different ways that it's being used, but you can't test for that because the way that I'm working today may not be exactly the same as the way I'm working tomorrow, which is why we have those metrics and those dashboards. But getting into it and actually having it seeing this generational jump where it goes from, okay, yes, I'll remember that, or okay, yeah, I got that information. Here's the information that you asked for from that document, to fully driving the ship with me or driving the bus with me, so to speak. Telling me next level steps of areas that I hadn't even told it about or told it to look for beforehand. That was incredible. Totally, totally mind blowing. So that, yeah, I just wanted to share that story. I will be doing more info on that, but that just like flew my mind all over the room. Really, really fantastic. A couple of things to wrap up here. If you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. Heads up if you're looking at buying a Galaxy XR headset. Google partnered with Samsung on this, obviously, but also included a whole bunch of other perks that in their advertising was like, hey, yeah, it costs $1,800, but here's $1,000 worth of credits for various different things. Doesn't work on a lot of things if you've used them before. So, for example, YouTube Premium. I was like, oh, I'm paying for YouTube Premium. I'm going to get a year of YouTube Premium for free out of this. That's what, $20 a month that I don't have to pay anymore? Great. Cancel my YouTube Premium subscription, switch to this one. Can't do it. If you've ever had a trial for YouTube Premium on your account, ever, on any account you want to use this on, you cannot use this. It is for new greenfield, completely brand new customers only. So keep that in mind. Caveat emptor, you got to check the little squircle or whatever the symbol is on there that says that is the restrictions. And by the way, it didn't say it on the website. It didn't say it in the email. It didn't say it in any of the terms, any of the places that I saw. But there was a terms and conditions on the Google Store page that I was able to click to that in there said, "Here's the rules for this." And I was like, "That's like okay, fine. I'm already paying for it. I'm going to continue paying for it. YouTube Premium is a phenomenal value, and I absolutely love it. I'm not getting rid of it, but." Still kind of felt like a bait and switch. And now, like some of the other things, also, I can't use them because I've had them before. So that's basically it on that front. Any other things I want to talk about this week? I mean, that was already a lot. It's been basically an hour here. We've got anti gravity, we've got all the good Gemini stuff. If you are a student and you are interested in Gemini, you can again get free Gemini AI Pro plan for 1 year for free. So that includes AI mode and search. Fully opens Notebook LM, just like the same way that I use it, where you have, I think, 300 sources per notebook, and you can have up to 50 notebooks or something like that. Um, I'm forgetting the numbers exactly, so don't quote me on that. But you can get that as well as 2 terabytes of storage and more in your Google account. So definitely go and search Gemini's. Actually, you don't have to search for it. It's Gemini.google/students is the link for that, and you can get that for free. So if you or your friends are in school, make sure to send that to them because that is a hell of a deal. And as I mentioned, Notebook LM should be required usage for students. That is my personal opinion, and it is a hill that I will die on because I'm a big fan. Oh, also, update over on Twitter. I finally got my handle that I wanted for the last decade of when I started getting serious about, personal online branding. I'm no longer Mr. J Nolan, which is a name that I created when I was, I don't know, a long time ago, 15 years ago, 16, 17 years ago. I've been on Twitter a long time. It is now just my name, Jesse Nolan, and I'm very, very happy that that occurred. I didn't have to pay for it. I am an X Premium subscriber because I don't like ads, and X is actually my number one most used platform. I don't really go on Facebook and Instagram and Threads and whatnot. Obviously, I'm on YouTube for all my content, but the the time that I spend, most of my time is on X, and so um, I got access to their handle marketplace, which is what they call the space where they are enabling the reallocation of old or discontinued handles, I suppose, suspended handles, whatnot. And I was able to request it. It took about a week and a half, and they verified it. And now I am Jesse Nolan on over on X. So if you would like to chat, feel free to go over there and do so. All right, so that was a pretty big week. I've told you pretty much what's coming next week. A couple of workspace things, videos, etc. I don't know if there's gonna be any big Google news next week. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if there's gonna be any more Ubiquiti news. I haven't heard anything there. Next week might just be a quiet week, which will be nice because the end of the year is coming, and I have to finish cleaning up the studio so that I can actually come through and give you a studio tour video as I have been promising. So I'm gonna hang it up there and go get some coffee because it's that time of day and I need some. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this later, thanks for listening. If you're listening over on the podcast world, I do this every week at 1 p.m., almost every week at 1 p.m. on Fridays in the Pacific time zone, of course. Please, if you're making a purchase from Ubiquiti, again, use my affiliate link and also make sure to tune into the Ubiquiti live stream that we're going to be doing this Wednesday. And I have the link to that over on X. And I guess I should probably make a scheduled live stream event over in YouTube Studio here so that you can click remind me on that. That's pretty much all I got for this week. So, again, have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll see you next week and on my other videos in the comment sections. Bye.